There are few places on Earth that inspire awe quite like Yosemite National Park. Towering granite cliffs, ancient forests, waterfalls that thunder from impossible heights. For millions of visitors each year, Yosemite is a destination. For some, it's a challenge. And for a handful, it's a test. Today, we're heading to the summit of Half Dome, but not under ordinary circumstances. The famous steel cables are down. The climb will be longer, more exposed, and considerably more dangerous. The journey begins with a round-trip hike that covers nearly 16 miles and climbs almost 5,000 feet in elevation. Every step is earned. The first major landmark is the Mist Trail, one of the most spectacular hiking trails anywhere in the world. Vernal Falls crashes nearly 320 feet into the Merced River. The granite staircase leading beside it is steep, often soaked with mist, and beautiful beyond description. The sound of the water drowns out conversation. Higher up the trail, Nevada Falls comes into view. Nearly twice as powerful as Vernal Falls, its white water explodes through the narrow granite canyon before continuing downstream. Behind us, the valley stretches toward the horizon. Ahead, Half Dome awaits. Even from here, its summit seems impossibly high. Beyond Nevada Falls, the crowds begin to thin. The trail becomes quieter, steeper, hotter. Then, the subdome, the final obstacle before reaching the cables. And for many hikers, the moment reality begins to set in.
I'm standing at the base of the iconic Half Dome in Yosemite National Park. You can see that there are climbers climbing the side of Half Dome. Normally during the summer, the cables that you can see that they're hooked into are actually supported. There's pieces of wood every now and then so you can rest. But in the spring, they don't support the cables that way. The cables are drilled into the rock, but they're just laying against the rock. So most people will use climbing equipment to clip into that for safety, because you can see it's a very steep ascent.
Thousands of hikers use the cables every season, but today, the cables are unsupported. The steel cables still provide a handhold, but now they lie directly against the smooth granite. There are no boards to stand on, no convenient resting places, only friction, balance, and careful movement. The slope reaches nearly 45 degrees. Below, hundreds of feet of exposed granite. One mistake here could have devastating consequences. That's why many experienced climbers choose to wear specialized climbing equipment, harnesses, energy-absorbing lanyards, carabiners clipped directly to the cables. The equipment doesn't eliminate the danger, but it provides an important margin of safety. Every movement is deliberate. Grip, step, breathe, clip, repeat. The climb becomes as much mental as physical. Looking up, the summit never seems to get closer. Looking down, the exposure becomes impossible to ignore. Fear has a way of sharpening your senses. The wind feels stronger. The granite feels steeper. Your heartbeat becomes impossible to ignore. Yet the mountain rewards patience. Each careful step builds confidence. Each section completed brings the summit within reach. Then, suddenly, the angle disappears. The granite levels out. You're standing on one of the most iconic summits in the world, nearly 5,000 feet above Yosemite Valley. The reward is impossible to describe until you've earned it yourself. To the west, the valley unfolds beneath towering granite walls. To the east, the High Sierra stretches toward the horizon. Waterfalls that seemed enormous from below now appear as delicate ribbons of white. The climb fades from memory. Only wonder remains. For a few quiet moments, there is nowhere else you'd rather be. But reaching the summit is only halfway. Every climber must safely descend the cables, then hike the long miles back to the valley floor. Fatigue, complacency, and changing weather make the return every bit as important as the climb. Half Dome has inspired generations of adventurers. It has challenged countless hikers, and it has reminded all who stand upon it that nature deserves both admiration and respect. In Yosemite, the waterfalls, the granite, the forests, and the vastness of the Sierra remind us that we are only visitors here. Half Dome doesn't promise an easy journey, but for those who approach it with humility and respect, it offers one of the most unforgettable experiences on Earth.